I took, about 3 weeks later, I went back to Costa Rica.
Okay.
And that's when 6 months kind of slipped into a year, slipped into 2, and all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, I live here.
So how long were you down in Costa Rica?
10 years.
Really?
Yes.
¿Hablas español?
Claro que sí.
All right, okay, bueno. All right. Let me ask you this, though. I'm very curious, just about Katrina. We'll get forward on it, but yeah, how did your parents, fare?
Everybody was affected, but okay.
Okay.
So fortunately, we didn't have any tragic.
Hey everyone, on today's episode of the Two Podcast, we had on the wonderful and incredible Kelley Spell and Alex Thomas, who are currently cabaret as well as ballroom instructors, cabaret dancers and ballroom instructors. They are doing some wonderful things for the dance community in New Orleans, Louisiana. Kelley, at one point, surprisingly, was like a mixed martial arts and like Muay Thai fighter. And Alex, on the other hand, was a professional dancer at one point in his life. So if you're interested in hearing about, their childhood, what got them into dancing, what it's like running a dance studio, this is a great episode. Let's just jump right into it.
You ready?
Ready.
Hey, all right, sure enough. So, hello everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Two Feet Podcast. On today's episode, I am joined by the wonderful and incredible, the amazing Alex Thomas and Kelley Spell. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Hey, how are you all doing today?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing swell, man. I'm very excited to have you all on.
Yeah, we're excited to be here, no doubt.
Sure enough. So if I'm not mistaken, Alex, you're from Columbus, Ohio, correct?
I am.
And Kelley, you were born and raised in New Orleans?
I'm a New Orleans native.
Hey, there it is. There it is. I guess I'll start with you guys. And tell me about I've never been to Columbus, Ohio, man. So tell me, what was your childhood like growing up there, man?
My childhood growing up is pretty mainstream,
Okay.
Middle-class family. I went to public schools. My parents told me, get a good job, right? Get a great degree, make some money, raise some kids. So I want to do the opposite of that. So when I saw ballroom dancing or dancing in general as a career, I was like, wait, I get to party and travel all the time? This is a career? I'm in. Yeah.
How did you, I guess jump right straight into it. How did you get introduced to ballroom? Did your parents dance or?
My parents danced a lot, and that was something that they did, but they weren't like trained. They just loved dance together.
Okay.
So I always witnessed that as a kid.
Yeah.
And then the way I got into it is because people told me, make your passion your profession.
I've heard that before, yeah.
So when I heard that, I was like, okay, what is my passion? What do I love to do?
Yeah.
And when I was in college, I loved to party.
All right.
So I saw a ballroom performance, and I thought that it looked easy because these people were professionals. They were world class. They made it look easy,
right?
They made it look easy. So I pursued the guy, and I said, hey, will you teach me? Will you show me to do what you do?
Do you know who this was?
Yeah, his name was Igor Iskakov.
Okay.
Yeah, he represented the U.S. in the World Championships.
Oh, wow.
Back then.
This is back in Columbus?
Back in Columbus.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was a little Russian man. He was like 5'4", 5'3", but he was larger than life. Yeah, he was sort of like Prince and Baryshnikov put together.
Okay,
And this guy, yeah.
All right.
So he was just charismatic, and I just started following him around, and he taught me how to dance.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, we'll get into all
Yeah.
that. We'll get into it. Miss Kelley. So born and raised in New Orleans, correct?
Right.
Please tell me about your childhood growing up here.
So I went to Mont Carmel for high school.
Okay.
As a younger kid, I was in acrobatics and gymnastics. Then in high school age, I got into springboard diving. I did that for LSU for a year.
Okay.
I always had something. It seems like, each decade of my life, I had something that I was focused on. The
Okay.
acrobatics as a younger kid, springboard diving after that. Then in college, I got into martial arts.
Okay.
I ended up doing Muay Thai and mixed martial arts.
Wow.
Fighting, I had opportunities to do some amateur fights through the United States,
Oh, wow.
Europe. I got to fight in China.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Got
That's the
some
thing. You
really,
can't
really
judge a book
cool-
by its cover. Oh, my goodness.
I had some really cool opportunities to see the world
Yes.
because of that.
Uh-huh.
I had a martial arts studio for a little while on Jefferson Highway.
Oh, my. Okay, so you were serious about it.
Yeah, no, it was a big part of my life.
Wow. I'm honest with you, Miss Kelley. You are small in stature, but I can only imagine what you can do.
Yeah, some people who know me back in that day, my reputation still precedes me with those people. And
That's awesome.
I love
That's
it
so
and I
cool.
miss it. And there's every once in a while I'll walk past a gym or a heavy bag.
Yeah, right. You start to reminisce, right? So it sounds like you've always been an athlete then, huh?
Always something very active. After that, coincidentally, when Katrina hit, I was in Central America, and I ended up staying there for a while. That was the next decade of my life, and during that time, I kind of got into yoga and surfing. So I went from kind of one extreme to the other.
Right.
From the really hardcore martial arts into yoga and a little more peaceful side of my life. And I didn't get into dancing until I met Alex.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So last month in June, that marked 2 years for me for dancing.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I would never have guessed that.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to hear though. I guess how did you have family here when Katrina hit? How did that affect your family?
Yeah, so I was on a little vacation in Costa Rica, and I fell in love with the place. My son was 4 years old at the time, and I was determined to go back to Costa Rica and introduce him to another culture. I thought it would be really cool for him to learn, ABCs and uno, dos, treses instead of ABCs
Spanish?
and 1, 2, 3s.
Okay,
right?
so yeah.
I found a little preschool that was bilingual, and I figured I'd spend about 3 or 4 months there absorbing another culture.
Uh-huh.
On about day 10 of my trip is when Katrina hit.
Oh wow.
And we were in such a remote area of Costa Rica that I caught the initial reports before the levees broke. So I saw that the storm had hit, and I was like, okay, everything's going to be okay. And I didn't watch TV again for about another 2 weeks.
Oh wow. Oh my goodness.
And in passing, somebody's like, wait, you're from New Orleans, right? Have you seen the news? It's like, well, I know a hurricane hit. But that's when I, got to the closest TV and turned on CNN and saw,
right.
Oh my God, that's my town, that's my high school, that's my neighborhood. And it was hard because I couldn't get in touch with friends and family.
I guess power right and everything
Power
was
outages
right.
and phone outages. So it took me about 21 days to actually speak to my mother.
Wow.
Fortunately, somebody had gotten a message to me that everything was fine.
Okay.
I don't have any siblings, but the same thing with my best friend. It took me over 2 months to get in touch with her. And it was just a really eerie time.
That is. Yeah.
So I took one of the first flights back to New Orleans when they let international flights back in.
How long was that, do you know?
That was at about the 2-month mark.
Oh, that's still a long time.
It was still curfew and coffin flies and National Guard everywhere.
Right.
I just took a look around and I wouldn't have known where to start. So I took, about 3 weeks later, I went back to Costa Rica.
Okay.
And that's when 6 months kind of slipped into a year, slipped into 2, and all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, I live here.
So hey, how long were you down in Costa Rica?
10 years.
Really?
Yes.
¿Hablas español?
Claro que sí.
All right, okay, bueno. All right. Let me ask you this though. I'm very curious, just about Katrina. We'll get forward on it, but yeah, how did your parents, fare?
Everybody was affected, but okay.
Okay.
So fortunately, we didn't have any tragic stories.
I mean, that's good. That's wonderful.
Yeah. So, besides me being uprooted, but that was just a beautiful chapter of my life. So
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So,
and I took Alex there last year.
Okay,
and
Costa
we're
Rica.
planning on going back in August.
Oh,
It's paradise.
I got to hear about it. Please tell me about Costa Rica. I've never been.
Well, it's a very small country, but it's very diverse. There's a Caribbean coast and a Pacific coast. It's about the size of West Virginia, maybe even smaller, but it has 4 mountain ranges. And some of those ranges are still active volcanoes.
Okay. It's an island, right?
No.
Oh.
It's north of Panama, south
excuse
of
me.
Nicaragua. Yeah, so in this tiny little country, you can go from coast to rainforest to cloud forest, active volcanoes, beautiful beaches. There's some areas that have dense population and some areas that still don't have electricity.
Okay.
It's one of the most biodiverse places on the planet.
Sure enough.
I could talk this whole podcast just about Costa Rica.
I would love to hear about it,
I'm super
honestly.
passionate about
Yeah.
it. And if anybody listening ever wants to, take a trip there or go back, I have plenty of recommendations.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious. So you say you lived there from 10 years. What time frame was that?
That was from '05 until
15?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you ain't been back in the States too long then.
Yeah, no, it's new back to the States. And, I took the advice of some friends and family when I came back, and they said, oh, nobody lives in town anymore. So I ended up landing on the North Shore and lived there for a year. If you're from the North Shore, no offense, but I've renamed Mandeville Belandeville because
not
I
much
couldn't
to do,
find
huh?
anything to do. And one of the things I really wanted to do and was searching for was dance.
I have coworkers who live in North Shore. Yeah, they got to come to New Orleans or come down here,
Yeah.
East Shore.
Yeah, so I found myself driving the bridge several times a week just to see
Causeway,
the people.
right? Yeah.
To see the people I enjoyed and do the things that I enjoyed.
I understand that. Yeah.
So-
I'm curious. I guess going back to Costa Rica, I want to hear about this. I guess what made you fall in love with it? What was so special about it?
Well, they have a saying there, pura vida, pure life.
Okay.
And I really believe that they experience life differently. It's in the moment and kind of truly lived. When things are going bad, they talk about it, and the friends and family are right there to support you through it. The people are extremely proud. Even some of the poorest people that I ever met, living in a shanty shed, would be so proud to show you what they have.
Okay.
And offer you what they have. If you're in their home, they would run out to their favorite papaya tree, pick a piece of fruit, and give it to you.
Okay, that's awesome.
It's just really, really open-hearted people that are proud of their culture and proud of the beauty that it has. So that was amazing. My daughter was actually born there, and I never for a moment felt like she wasn't being attended to.
Okay.
There were so many sets of eyes on my children. They could be running down the beach and people would be like, oh, where's your son? Oh, I don't know. Oh, well, isn't that bad? No.
It's
Somebody's
different.
watching.
Okay, it's different.
There's just such a different, the whole tribe raising the children. So I loved that part of it. Another part that I loved was my children experiencing that. They would come to the States to visit and not understand why their cousins or friends were upset that they didn't have the latest iPhone.
Okay.
They're like, wow, they have a phone and
Right.
they're not appreciating it. Just because things were harder to get there.
Yeah, of course.
And it wasn't overrun with as much commercial items. So, yeah, it's just a very different way of life. And it's... considered one of the happiest places to live.
Okay.
And I think it's just because of that mentality of we love what we have and we treasure it.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it, I guess, what made you go down there? Was it just a random...
It was just, initially I wanted to go learn how to surf.
Okay, so enough.
So I was searching for surf schools in California, in Brazil, in Mexico, but I wanted one where I got off of the plane and everything was taken care of until I got back on.
Okay.
So I found this little surf school that had your ride from the airport, your meal tickets, your activities, and your surf instructor all taken care
Nice.
of. And it was this tiny little, originally a fishing town, turned surfer town, and 3 dirt roads. But I fell in love with the area, and
What part of Costa Rica then were you?
it's the Central Pacific coast called Dominical.
And that's where you lived?
That's where I visited first and then ended up living.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm very curious. I guess how were you able to pay for that? Can I ask? Or you had to work down there?
When the whole Katrina thing happened, I had a little freak out and didn't know what to do. So there was a surfer bar there, and I asked the lady, I said, hey, this is what happened. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I've been bartending, from New Orleans,
Hey,
blah,
you had
blah,
a skill.
blah.
That's awesome.
And she let me jump behind the bar
Hey.
and pick up a couple shifts a week. And after that, I did everything from, I worked at a furniture shop. When I was, right after I had my daughter, I didn't want to have a real job. So I set up a beach chair and surfboards and a chalkboard. And I
Hey.
called myself the beach chair concierge.
Sure enough.
I sat there with a cell phone and booked tours for people.
Nice.
I rented surfboards, just kind of hustled on the beach.
Yeah.
And, every time I'd rent a tour, they'd pay me $5 or $6 per person, which at the end of the month added up to half of my rent and grocery money.
Okay,
So
sure enough.
it was just a hustle, but
That
I
is,
enjoyed
that's what it
it.
sounds
It was a
like.
hustle on the beach.
Yeah.
So.
And I guess that's where you kind of perfected your Spanish, right? Did you go down speaking Spanish? Or?
No. And still, I don't call myself fluent, but very functional.
But you were in that environment. That's the best way to learn it, right?
And then the goal for my son to speak Spanish, wow, he's fluent.
That's
He's
awesome.
Spontaneously fluent.
That's awesome.
Was taught and tested.
Well, he
in
a
both
sponge at that age, right? He just soaks up everything.
Yeah, he got the presidential award for Spanish excellence at his school, and he said, "What a joke! I slept through every class."
Okay, sure enough.
Yeah, but by the end of it, I was working at a Coldwell Banker doing vacation rentals and property management.
Okay.
So kind of running a team of people under me.
Okay.
It was a real life. So
Yeah.
life follows you wherever you go.
Sure
It
enough.
follows your ambition and how hard you work.
Okay, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, but part of what I fell in love with there was how integral dance is as part of the
So
culture.
is it a big thing down there?
Of course, every barbecue you have, the music's on, the food's going, and everybody's dancing.
Is it, I guess, salsa or
A lot of
merengue?
salsa, bachata,
Okay.
and cumbia.
Cumbia. Okay, show enough. All right. As I imagine you dance that as well, correct?
Yeah, I do. I enjoy salsa and bachata a little more, but anytime a cumbia comes on, I'm looking around to see who's jumping up and down.
Okay, show enough. I get you. Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah, but that really opened my eyes to, how it's not just about the steps.
Oh.
It's really an integral part of life. Everything they do has those three elements: family, food, and dance.
Okay, show enough.
And we have a lot of that in New Orleans, so it felt at home.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I guess that's why you kind of resonated with it so much then. Okay.
For sure.
Yeah. So, I guess, Alex, I'm very curious, man. Going back to when you were first learning, was it swing? What did that guy do? I'm sorry.
What he did, he was an international Latin dancer.
Latin dancer.
Yeah.
So the ballroom Latin or?
Yeah, ballroom Latin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and what does that include exactly?
That's cha-cha, samba, rumba, paso doble, and jive.
Right, it's a couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to hear, man. I guess tell me about your beginner stage when you were learning all of that, man.
Mm-hmm. So I was an athlete. I played college sports. I played baseball.
Okay.
So I
can see you playing baseball.
Yeah. I was about 200 pounds.
Okay.
I was
Straight
working out all the time. Yeah.
All right,
So I kind of moved pretty, I don't know how to put it, animal-like is the best way I can put
Okay,
it. I was just a
understand.
little bit rough,
Yeah.
So when I was first learning, I was definitely really awkward. I struggled at it, but I had a hunger to be able to work hard.
Real quick. Did you not have a desire to go professional in MLB or?
I did.
Okay.
I did,
And
yeah.
What happened?
So when I was a kid, I was actually skipped ahead grades.
You
So-
smart kid.
I mean, I was in a smart school. And so
Okay.
it was just, they did it where it was called Learning Unlimited, where you had to get pushed ahead.
Oh.
So when I got to high school, I was...
You were younger, right?
I was about to be 12.
Oh my goodness.
And so,
Wow.
so we held me back 1 year, but I was 13 as a freshman, right?
Mm.
So I actually made it to the varsity team when I was 14.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so I was 14 and a sophomore, I was playing varsity.
What was your position?
I was an outfielder.
Okay, so
Yeah. So then my junior and senior year, I was 15 and 16, right? So I was really, really young.
Yeah.
Our team made it to the state championship.
Nice.
Yeah. I, led the team in hitting, led the team in home runs.
That's awesome,
I was
man.
awesome. There was a guy that got drafted on our team. I hit better than him. But honestly, I was 16 as a senior, not 18. So I went to Division II for college baseball instead of Division I.
Because you were so young? Oh,
I mean, well, the thing was, if I was 18, I would have probably had every record there ever was in the OCC. Instead, I just have like the records for my high school, And so if you break all these records, you're clearly going to be Division I.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, as 16 and a senior, and then 17 playing college ball, I went Division II instead of Division I. It kind of messed up my dreams for major leagues. I started on my team, and we went to the College World Series at 17, but I decided this isn't for me. I have missed the boat.
Okay. Okay,
I missed the boat.
understand.
So that's when I transferred into dance. I was like, I need to go do something else. Looking back on it, I should have stayed with baseball, and I could have danced later on in life. I should have been able to do it.
Yeah.
But as a kid, you're just gonna go for whatever.
Of course, man.
So when I started, I actually started and I took ballet classes. They said you started too late. I took jazz. I did tap. I did African. I did everything.
Yeah.
And then when I found Ballroom, that's when I found a way for me to actually be able to move forward and succeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so go back to the beginner stage. You say you kind of animalistic.
I was, man. I was just kind of like, I was rough. I was really, really rough about it. But I would work really hard. So I learned my routines, and I got a great partner.
Okay.
And they paired me with this girl from the Ukraine, and her and I just like trained. We trained like professionals right from the get-go.
Okay.
Because that's what we saw in our coaches.
Yeah.
And so everybody in the studio did that. So
What studio did you attend?
it was called Columbus Dance Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And out of the studio, there's tons of people that have turned pro, that have been champions, been anything. And it's really the environment that the teacher created. We didn't know at the time. It's all we knew. It's like just how we did it.
Right.
Yeah. Now looking at it, it was a pretty special place.
Okay, that's awesome,
Yeah.
man. And so, were you in college at that time, or had you already graduated?
Oh, I dropped out.
Oh, you dropped completely.
Yeah,
and
I was like, forget it.
Full-time dancing.
Full-time dancing.
Okay,
yeah.
you went all the way in.
I went
man.
in. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I went
bro.
in. Yeah. People are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm making this happen. That's what I'm doing." Yeah.
I'm curious. Tell me, man, how did your parents feel about that?
They said, "Listen, when we said make your passion your profession, this is not what we meant."
So no, I understand. Right.
Yeah. So no, they were not supportive.
Oh, not at all.
Not, I mean,
I'm cool.
slightly. They
Okay,
were
I
like,
understand.
"This is a phase, right? Like you're gonna get back in school. We're gonna do this." You know, they became very supportive. You know, later on down the road.
Okay.
Yeah, down the road, they started
Yeah.
really supporting me and being all in. But at the time, it was hard.
Let me ask you this then, man. For maybe somebody out there, man, who whose parents might be doing the same thing, man.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: why did you not go back to school? You know, I guess why did you stick with your passion, even though your parents were telling you?
So I never meant for this to be a career. I just
Okay.
wanted to dance and perform.
Okay.
Right. That's all I wanted to do. So when I did it, what I was doing is I was just pursuing dancing, and it cost more money, so I had to teach more. And it kept costing more money, so I had to open a studio. And it kept costing more money, so I had to have my studio grow. Next thing I know, I had a huge studio, but I was like, I don't really want.
This is back in Columbus?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really want a huge studio. I just want to pay for my competitive dancing. You know, that was my
Yeah.
goal. So for someone out there that wants to do it, you can absolutely make a career in it. But I want you to know that it's way harder than you think.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you are not, willing to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a
Okay.
week, and maybe not have, all the money in the world, you shouldn't do this.
Okay.
You got to do it because you love it
Right,
more
right.
than you love money and more than you love security. You got to do it because you love it and it fulfills a part of you. But if you're doing it because you want security, you need to go be an accountant.
Okay. How old were you when you started? You think?
When I really started pursuing it, I was 20. Yeah, I mean, I started dancing when I was 9, and I took classes growing up. But when I really pursued it, I was 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that,
Yeah.
man. That's intense, man.
Yeah.
And so, I guess I really want to know then. I guess how did you all meet then? How did that come about?
Well, I swiped right,
Okay.
and she said yes.
Yeah, sure enough. That's how it is. All right.
I took her out dancing. We went to the Always Lounge. I couldn't fail at that as a first date.
Okay.
The date went really well,
Hey.
and then we were like, let's keep dancing. And then we went to Frenchman Street, and we're literally dancing from club to club to club. It was amazing.
Hey.
And then I was like, hey, let me try something with you. I just felt like I could do it. I spun her in. I got her up above my head,
All right.
and I had her up in the air immediately, right away. And I was like, do you want to dance, really dance? You want to
Okay.
do this? And as soon as we're doing this, we had this conversation, there was a group of ballet dancers that happened to be in New Orleans at the time. And they go, oh my God, who are you guys? That's beautiful. It was on Easter. It's an Easter miracle. Look at you two.
Easter miracle.
And for some reason, I took that as a sign.
Hey.
I was like, is the universe sending me a person that I can dance with, have a life with, be able to do all of this? Of course, hopeless romantic. One date, we're getting married. We're in it. But I mean, I fell in love, and the rest is history. We're
Hey,
just
that's
here now.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was back in New Orleans at that time, right?
Yeah.
Sure enough. And you were using Tinder. You weren't joking.
No, yeah. Tinder,
Okay.
yeah.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, I didn't know anybody. I just got myself settled. I
Yeah.
had an apartment and a car, and I was
Yeah.
like, all right, let's go meet people.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
let me
and I
ask you
had
this.
just come from Costa Rica, so
Okay.
I didn't even know. I'm like, how do you meet people? And they're like, well, you get on,
Tinder.
these apps. I'm
Okay,
like,
sure enough.
What?
Online dating is new.
Yeah.
What I want to ask you, what brought you to New Orleans, Alex?
Well, what brought me to New Orleans is in Columbus, I decided to get out of dancing for a little while, and I wanted to do something else, right? And when I wanted to do something else, I was working in nightclubs. I was a club promoter for this place that brought in a bunch of EDM DJs. I ran a party bus business.
Okay.
I tried real estate. None of it I did very successfully, and I hit a dead end. It just wasn't the same. Wasn't the same passion for the like dancing was. And there was this tattooed chick that played the guitar, right? And she's like, I'm moving to New Orleans. You want to travel the country with me for a little while? And I did. I went with her to New York. I went with her to West Virginia. She brought me down to New Orleans. We moved in together. 6 days later, she put me on the street.
Okay.
And I'm like, wait.
What happened?
Yeah. I don't know. She just like changed her mind. She went back to her other boyfriend. But I was like, I moved here to be with you. You invited me here.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody. So I'm like literally like sleeping out of my car, right? And the reason I came and the reason I was excited about it was because there was no professional ballroom dancer here. There was no big studio. So I was like, how can this place with beautiful music culture, beautiful dance culture, not have a person that does what I do here?
Yeah.
So I decided to come. And then after I did that and I was on the street, I was like, I can't go home.
Right.
I'm going to make this work.
Yeah.
So somebody let me stay on their couch for a month. And I started doing Uber. I started driving back to Columbus teaching lessons.
How far
and I
is
made
that?
it work. 14 hours.
Oh, wow, man.
Yeah, so I was driving back and forth every weekend.
What?
Yes, that's the only way I could survive.
That's dedication, man.
Yeah, but I wanted to make it work here in New Orleans because I saw that there could be something beautiful here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that, man.
Yeah.
So, so you were telling me though.
Yeah.
Say you moved here, you got put out and everything.
Yeah.
And you were driving back and forth, just trying to survive, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me. I guess tell me about that more though, man. You know, you just driving back and forth, just hustling, I guess, right? And then you run into Kelley, or like what happens?
Well, once I was driving back and forth and it was working and I had some classes going on here, I was teaching at Dance Quarter, right?
Oh, okay,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, and I was going back and forth.
What year was this, man? Do you know?
This was 2017.
Okay, this is kind of recent, man. It sucks.
Yeah, this is 2017. This is like the summer of 2017.
I moved here October 2017, man.
Okay.
And I think I met you teaching Brazilian Zouk.
Yeah.
I think that's how I met you.
Yep.
Yeah.
At
With
Dance
Tina.
Quarter, Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, over there. That's where we met.
Yeah.
I was over at Dance Quarter too.
Okay.
Yeah, so January is when I moved. About summertime is
So
when
you
I
just
started to
got
get
here to New
stable.
Orleans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was brand new.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, when I was going back and forth, when I met her is when I started to get stable. Like everything was like going good. I wasn't gonna try to date a girl when you're like living out of your car. You
I
know what I'm
understand. Was that your current situation, man?
saying? For a while.
Okay,
Yeah.
man,
I was like out of my
struggle.
car. I was like living at somebody's house. You know.
On the couch.
Yeah, couch to couch to couch.
Okay, man.
Once I got a place and I was like settled and I felt like everything was cool, then I figured I could start dating and meeting
Okay.
people.
Yeah, man. That's
Yeah.
intense, man.
Yeah.
And that was April because it was Easter when we met.
Yeah. Yeah.
How'd you get introduced to Brazilian Zouk and Tina?
Well, Tina's the first friend I made in New Orleans.
Okay, nice.
So I went to
Tina's so nice, man.
She's so nice.
I just had her on the show as well. So,
Did you? Yeah.
I'm glad to have her on.
I went to a salsa event, and here's this beautiful girl, smiling, happy,
Tina's so
friendly
nice.
with everybody. I was like, that girl's not going to tell me no.
Okay.
I'm going to go ask her to dance.
Okay.
Right? So I went to go ask her to dance, and while we're dancing, she's like encouraging me. She's like, oh, that was great. Eso.
Eso.
Da, 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 da. I was like, this girl's amazing,
Tina's so
right?
nice.
I know. She's so nice. So we made friends, and she, started talking about Zouk and how much she loved it. And her dream was to bring Zouk to New Orleans.
she's doing.
Yeah, And so because that was her dream, I was like, all right, I'm all about it. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. So we would meet up and practice. And it was her and her boyfriend at the time, and then me and Kelley. And we would just practice Zouk, and we start learning and training in it together. And it was really, I guess, Tina's spark that started it for the group of us. But then her spark spread and it started to hit other people. And then people started teaching it. Her and I taught together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now a little community's like popped
Showing
up.
up. Yeah,
It's beautiful.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'll tell me this. I guess for both of you all, I guess tell me about your beginner stage learning Brazilian Zouk. How was that for you?
Well, because I've taken so many lessons in other styles of dance,
Right.
I translated it to other styles. And I could see that this is a style that's been around for a while, but has a lot of room to grow, and it's going to grow quickly. The trend is going to happen.
Yeah.
So I actually took onto it really, really fast.
Okay.
The challenge was because the follow has such a difficult part.
I think both parts. What? I think they're both difficult.
I don't know. A lot of the Zouk guys just stand there and they're just like,
Okay, so
they're
true.
like
I mean, you are
puppeteers,
right. Yeah.
Some of the Zouk guys can
So
really
true.
dance and they're rocking it, and I think that it's grown a lot just in this last year. But at first I was like, man, this is a style I can get down with. This is amazing. But what really moved me was the music and the way that it made both partners feel. I never felt a dance that sent you to another place.
Okay.
It would elevate you or transcend you to a place that you and your partner went together.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
it was like Dance Nirvana.
I believe it.
I loved it, you
Yeah.
know? So honestly, just doing the basic moves, I would feel that. But then you start seeking out more and more
Right.
and trying to do it. Yeah, I mean, my beginning stages were just like everyone else. It was a struggle.
Struggle. yeah, I definitely understand that.
Yeah, but there was hope, though, also, so it made you
might
chase
get-
it.
Yeah, you had been in that beginner stage before in a previous, thing, so you understood what it was.
Yeah.
And what it took to get better.
Well, I tell you what Zouk did for me is I was actually burnt out on dancing, but Zouk made me
Something
love
different, right?
dancing
Something
again.
new.
Yeah. Yeah, it made me have a passion for dance in general.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's something that I kind of got to witness.
Okay.
Alex is a great dancer, but watching him do Zouk, he was a different dancer.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
So there was something a little different. We ended up going to a festival that was kind of centered around Zouk, Interfusion. And went to a bunch of Zouk workshops. And for me, being new to dance
Right.
and new to Zouk, it was an awakening. But then watching him, have that passion and drive
Yeah.
and discovering something
Yeah, he likes,
together
right?
was really, really fun. And that's kind of when we came home from that, when we were like, okay, we got to really do this dance thing. And we started talking about maybe a studio and what we were going to do in the future. And, now that all of that has materialized.
Right.
It's really, really
See where you
been
came from.
Yeah.
I would
been
definitely.
Hey, if you could leave a like and subscribe, that would be amazing for the channel. Let's get back to the video.
I would
been
definitely.
fast, too.
I want to get into all that, but I want to ask you, Miss Kelley. Please tell me about your beginner stage when you were learning to dance and everything. What was that like?
Very different because I was learning
what
to
you-
dance with somebody who had
Okay.
18 years of experience on top of me.
I understand.
So
That probably did that help at all?
I'm sure it did,
Yeah.
but also in a way it was,
Intimidating or what?
Very
I understand. I understand.
yeah. And I jumped into it thinking it was just going to be, like you have 2 beers at the bar and you go do a salsa.
Then you ran into a professional, right?
Right? And here I am trying to get to a level of potential performances.
my goodness.
And, hoping to be an instructor one day. So I was on the fast track.
Yeah, definitely.
And it takes a lot more than I thought.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've kind of been the type of person where things have come a little easily in my past, like the martial arts and everything else. But this, for me, I've had to put in the work.
Okay.
Yeah, and I still feel like I'm not quite where I need to be.
Okay, I understand.
So it's that daily practice. It's thinking about, did I go to the gym? I need to go to the gym. If I don't go to the gym, I'm not going to be as good on the dance floor. I need to think about and arrange your life a little differently to be a dancer.
Yeah. I'm curious. I guess it seems like this is kind of difficult for you, or it was at one point. What kept you going? Like, why did you stick with it? Why did you not give up?
That is a great question.
She almost did many times.
There's been a couple times.
Okay.
And honestly, like some people know their drive for dance. I don't really have that answer. And I've thought about it many times. There's one particular event in my life that's kind of driven me. When I was little and I was in acrobatics, I did try to do a jazz class once, and I had that teacher that looked at me and she said, "Kid, you better stick with acrobats." And she put me out of the class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was,
That can hurt, man.
it did.
At that
It did.
age, too.
And it gave me, it reverberated in my head, and I always thought, I can't dance, I can't dance, I can't
Okay.
dance. And it wasn't even until, in my 20s that I even tried partner dance.
Okay.
And but still, I had that in my mind. You can't dance. You
That's
can't.
that one instance in your life can
Isn't
like
it
just
crazy?
change. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so wild.
But it's kind of made me want to, and yes, I can. And it's not that I have to prove anything or have to prove her wrong. She's just something she said to
Yeah,
a kid.
that's probably
who
something she
wasn't
might
very
not even remember
graceful.
anymore, yeah.
of course. but there's something else that drives me to do it. And to be honest with you, there was a point in my life where I was just like, what am I going to do next? What do I want to do? And I kept having these vivid dreams about dancing.
Okay.
And
Well, this back in Costa Rica, I guess?
it actually was.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I had gone down to one of those remote places that I was saying doesn't even have electricity. And I was just kind of contemplating life.
I say that probably give you a lot of time just to think, right?
Yeah.
You don't have too many outside distractions.
Mother Nature's right there in your face.
Sure enough. Yeah.
Yeah, so it all kept coming back to dance. And there was a point where I thought I was going to leave Costa Rica. My grandmother was a little ill. This was in 2013. And I was reviewing some emails the other day, and I saw one from 2013, and it sparked that memory that back then I was looking for places to dance when my thought was to leave Costa Rica. And then when I did end up leaving, a couple years later, that was heavily on my mind. Where am I going to go? Where's there going to be good dancing? What am I going to learn? What styles are out there?
Yeah.
And so meeting Alex was like, divine intervention.
Yeah, sure enough. Yeah,
You're somebody who knows 30-something different
Right,
styles of
right,
dance,
right. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'll never catch up to him, but hopefully
I mean, but yeah, like you said, you're on the fast track, though,
very much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you'll get there. I have no doubt of that.
Yeah.
She's there.
I believe
She's
it.
there. We're
I'll
practicing
say-
every day
I'll
now.
say that. I've
Yeah.
seen. I just want to say, what was that performance you did at Tanya's?
Tanya's.
Oh my goodness! I
That was a
told you
good
that was an incredible performance. Seriously,
Appreciate it.
Seriously,
Yeah.
it was. Would you consider that cabaret or?
That was cabaret, yeah.
Okay.
It had tango elements, but it was definitely
Exactly, I
cabaret.
saw that. Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah. Seriously.
Thank you.
That was incredible. Oh my goodness. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Of course.
We went out with power on that one. That one felt good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It looked good.
Yeah.
So yeah. So tell me, so I don't really know much about cabaret. What does that entail? Is that
It means that you're dancing more in the air than you do on the ground.
okay? Okay.
Yeah. So it's very trick based. It's very lift based.
So that your background in acrobatics probably helped with that, right?
It does. There's a big difference in acrobatics, and I think I struggle with this because when you get in the air as an acrobat, you almost get kind of this statuesque posture. You're very stiff, you're rigid, you're holding your line so hard, and you're judged on how long you have to hold the line for a certain amount of time. So you're almost like not breathing, not moving, really, really stiff. And dance is so fluid, especially something like Zouk. You
Right.
feel that fluidity, and that's what I've had trouble with.
Okay.
I want to put my arm out there and be super stiff.
Okay,
and
okay,
it's
okay.
Not flowy.
Yeah.
So it's literally dancing in the air, not just holding a position. in the
Okay,
air.
I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, in a true cabaret, you're telling a story. People are sitting on all four sides, so you're on the floor with them. And the beginning of the dance, they hear the story or they see it. The middle of the dance is the rising action of the story. And the end of the dance, they get a message.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're trying to tell that story with your partner.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so tell me, how did you get introduced to cabaret? Is that something you had already been doing, or?
Well, ballroom, everyone knows is a pretty egotistical style, right? So they just do every dance and known to man, right?
Okay,
And one of
sure
them they
enough.
do is cabaret, and they do it
okay,
really, really
okay.
well. And so I got introduced to it because I was taking lessons to make my other dances get better, but I was introduced to some great champions, and I had enough lessons in it and I was, kind of strong for a dancer that I could do it. So meeting a person with acro experience, it was a cinch,
Sure
you know?
enough.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's like a match made, man.
It worked out, yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, man. I guess coming down to New Orleans and everything. Have you experienced, I guess, any of the West Coast swing, the Lindy Hop scene down here? Have y'all dabbled in that?
Lindy Hop that's where we first started dancing, and that's one of our loves.
Okay,
We
so
love
now-
it, yeah.
okay.
I love Lindy Hop so much that I'm getting rid of East Coast swing and ballroom. I think East Coast swing is bouncy cha-cha, and it doesn't represent the music at all.
What do you mean
So-
you're getting rid of? What do you mean?
I
When we
mean, when
compete.
in my
Oh,
own
okay,
dancing,
okay.
I don't. I do true Lindy to the best of my ability.
Okay.
I try to do Charleston to the best of my ability and take what they do at the East Coast swing and just put it aside. Yeah,
Okay.
Lindy's where it's at.
Okay.
Yeah, West Coast swing is incredible, and there's a great scene here. It's just
We're
it's
not
just not
in
my
it.
thing. Yeah, it's just
Okay.
not in that one.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Is that?
And-
my fault.
Oh, I was just going to say, in fact, that's kind of what we strive to do with our dancing is keep, the authentic roots but the technique and style of
Showing
ballroom.
up, yeah.
So, for example, salsa, we want to have that grit
Of
and
course.
that feel,
Yeah.
but have great balance, great technique, and great footwork.
Yeah, yeah.
In swing, we want to have more of the Lindy look, but, be spot on.
Okay. Yeah,
you know, with
yeah.
our, yeah, so.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Is it more so that you don't resonate? Are you resonate more with the music? Like, what makes you resonate with Lindy?
So that it's really about the music.
Okay.
So there's such a technical focus in ballroom, and it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. But so often you're so focused on the technique that they will leave the music, the culture, and the roots behind.
Okay.
When I listen to the music and I watch Lindy or Boogie Woogie, I'm like, wow, that goes so well with the music. And if we're dancing, that's it. If I watch East Coast Swing, what they're doing in ballroom, I'm like, well, it looks pretty on video if I have the music off. If I turn the music on and listen to
There's
it,
no connection.
It's not connected.
It's not
music.
connected.
It's just steps then.
it's beautiful posture and lines, and and you're really trying to please the judges rather than please the soul. And I think if you focus on just expressing yourself from the inside and connecting to the music, Lindy Hop matches it perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what it's about for me, is just trying to express the music correctly.
Real quick, have you heard of a Shim Sham?
Yeah.
Okay, I just got introduced to this morning. I've never seen that before. It looks pretty cool though.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, the swing world has so many.
I didn't know
types of
this. Yeah,
dances.
I'm honest with you, I've never taken a swing class. I feel like I wasted my time in New Orleans.
But there's some great swing instructors here. You
Okay.
got to go and
World
check it
class.
out and just go
Okay.
into the world a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely should.
Yeah.
I want to let me ask you this real quick. I guess going from competing, which is trying to please judges, right?
Yeah.
I guess what you're doing now, trying to please your soul.
Yeah.
How has that transition been? Like, if you understand.
Well, the transition's been great.
Okay.
It's made me love dancing again.
Okay.
Because a lot of ballroom dancers, they get disillusioned.
Okay.
Yeah, they dance, they put their heart and soul into it, and they're left with nothing but a really cool run that nobody knows about.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, actually, it might just be me. I don't really know too many ballroom superstars or anything.
Yeah, well, for a lot of people that do ballroom, what happens is you spend a lot of money on coaching, on costumes,
Okay.
on traveling, and you don't have anything left at the end of your career. And people realize, wow, I've got to stop. I've got to go and get my life together because I've
Right.
spent so much money and gone into debt doing it. It's not just me, it's everyone. It's just how the world is.
Okay.
So in dancing, that's what made me kind of leave it for a little bit. But then I found that love again when I started expressing the music correctly and being authentic.
Okay.
And then that brought me back. So that transition for me has been actually wonderful. It's made me be a more inspired teacher. It's made me enjoy practice.
Okay.
And it's put me on a journey that feels correct.
Okay. I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, and when we do go to a ballroom competition and we express the music, the judges perk up more, and they're like,
Nice.
"Who's that couple?"
Okay.
Because we are putting a little bit of like bachata in our
All right,
rumba
sure enough,
and,
yeah.
Lindy in our swing. So, we've come off of the dance floor, and I've had the camera and photographer guys going, "When are you guys dancing again?"
Okay, that's awesome.
The judges are clapping on their clipboards.
That's
and
awesome.
They're just excited to see something that doesn't look so staunch. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're probably incorporating, everything right?
Yeah.
Instead of just that ballroom experience, right?
Yeah.
You
Well, I think that's
incorporate
the new
everything.
style right now. I mean, with the shows, So You Think You Can Dance and World of Dance, a fusion is really happening.
Fusion, right.
And so when you saw Derek Huff's live tour, he took contemporary dancers and he was doing salsa and he was doing ballroom and he was doing contemporary
Okay.
and he's doing hip hop. And they did it in a way that they just fused it all together. And that's really the new style.
Yeah, it's something new
Yeah.
and different.
Yeah.
So I understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I thought I made it up, but obviously everyone's on the same track. so.
Okay. I understand, yeah.
And one of the fun things is kind of the more new we make our style, the more authentic and old it is. 'Cause
Okay.
we're going back to the roots of the dance. For example, one of our coaches is from Cuba.
Okay.
Her master's degree is the folklore of Cuban dance.
Okay.
So we're learning about the orishas,
Yeah.
the Yemaya and Oshun, and putting that into our dance. It makes
Yeah.
it feel like it has this antiquity and a root to it that's super deep.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. So all of the dances that we love to do have these roots, and uncovering the roots is just making the dance more fun for us.
So I guess it's safe to say at this point you both are professional dancers or like full-time dancers or what? Full-time, I guess maybe.
He'll always be professional.
Okay.
When we go to ballroom comps, we compete as pro-am.
Okay.
I don't necessarily want to be a professional ballroom dancer,
Okay.
but I wouldn't mind being one of the best pro-ams out there.
Yeah. Is this your full time? Let me ask you, full time though?
We are full-time.
Okay, that's what I meant.
That's what we
then.
do 7 days
So,
a week at the
okay.
studio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess let's talk about rhythm and smooth or what made you want to start that?
Well,
Just
what we
having
were
a
doing is we
studio.
were teaching at 4 different locations.
Okay.
So I was traveling back and forth, and I was losing time, and I was
course.
late for lessons.
Okay.
And I was actually told at 2 different places that I didn't have enough students to be able to stay there.
Okay.
So I was asked to leave.
Okay.
So we literally had nowhere to teach. And I was teaching at 4 different spots, at the time, and it was too difficult. So we really opened Rhythm and Smooth because we had to.
Yeah.
And so when we did it, we got a space, and it was a lot of money to be able to
course.
open a space and take that jump. But our students that we had stuck with us.
Nice.
The marketing that we had stuck and took root, and we just have made it happen.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And so now, we're both teaching together full time. We've actually created a little dream life where we go to the studio, we practice, we do our business meeting, we teach all day together, we close the studio down, we go home, eat dinner, and do it again.
Okay.
We're on a roll right now,
That's
so
awesome.
things are good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marissa dances with us. That makes it super fun, to have my daughter there.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah.
So it's truly a family business, and
It is.
everybody knows what's going on in her life.
Okay.
And, yeah.
I wanna ask you this thing. Tell me about. I guess what is it like owning a dance studio? What is that like?
Well, I've been doing it for now 9 years, owning a studio.
Okay.
And 9 years before that, I worked in them. So
you used to kind of.
yeah, I'm used to it. The key to owning your own business and the key to being an entrepreneur is living by a schedule, because you don't have anybody telling you what schedule to do. And I think that's where most entrepreneurs and artists fail, is that you've got to create a system for the week, and you have to live by it without anyone telling you to do it.
Right.
It's not that businesses fail. It's not that studios fail. It's that people fail to operate within a system.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you don't show up and do your own training and do the business training and make your phone calls and check your email and teach your lessons and follow the procedures and do your accounting, and you just kind of let it run willy-nilly, it'll never grow.
Okay.
So that's really what we try to live by, is a disciplined weekly system. Yeah.
I think what a lot of people don't know about Alex is he had the fastest growing studio in the nation when he had his studio in Columbus.
Okay. Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago, and now I'm just happy to have what we got right now.
I mean, that's still an accolade, though. That's
that
awesome.
is the accolade, and that's why he knows what the system of success is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other thing that he's been so generous to offer, hey, whoever wants to come learn this system, this is when we have teacher training. We do it 3 times a week.
Okay, that's awesome.
We have an open door. Anybody that wants to come learn from us, we're not keeping any secrets.
Yeah.
We want to see. Our goal in opening the studio wasn't just about dance. It was to have a place where artists can be artists and make money in their craft.
Okay.
What we love seeing is great dancers getting out there and teaching lessons, but we hate to hear that they're washing dishes at a pizza shop or something. We want them to have the same skill set and know how to make money and have the business mind that he's successfully created.
Not that there's anything wrong with being in a humble spot, because we've all been there. It's
But
just that
it's possible, and there is a system.
there's a chance for them to do it full time if they
Of
want.
course. I mean, that's pretty much what anyone would want.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, man, I would love. There might be some listeners out there right now, man, who might be contemplating, going full time with their desire. Could you maybe tell me some common mistakes you see, or maybe what do you teach in that teacher training? Can I ask?
Yeah.
That can help people.
So I tell you what, the common mistakes that I see in New Orleans in general, and just maybe anywhere, is that what people do is they do what everyone else is doing.
Okay.
And they think that's going to work. But if you have 30 people in an industry and you're all making the same social media post, you're all teaching the same group class, you're all going to the same social events, you got to zig when other people are zagging.
Differentiate yourself.
Yeah, you got to differentiate yourself. So another common mistake is people try to really focus on their dancing and their social media, and they don't really have any of the business part of it to really make it substantial.
Okay.
When I first got here, the first thing I did was create a marketing funnel.
Okay.
I created a way for me to get new students regularly, and I've been perfecting that funnel ever since. And so another mistake that people do is they're like, I'm going to host classes. and I hope people show up. You need to create a chance for people to show up before you even start your class.
Okay.
You know?
And go into that. What do you mean by that?
So, like, if you look at traditional business, the way they get customers, you got to find a way to generate leads and get people to come into your class for very cheap.
Okay.
We have a way that every lead that we get right now is about $6 a lead. And so we just run that same system every week and be able to make it work. And that's how you do it.
Okay.
Some of the things that we do is we do Groupon. Right?
Sure enough.
We do road signs. They're amazing. Everyone that sees these road signs all over town and come in. You know, we do guest parties where our students invite people in. And we just really go out and dance with people. And when we're out dance with people, they ask us to come in. Yeah. But I think doing that first, having the marketing part first, is the key to actually starting teaching classes and starting as a teacher. Yeah.
I guess it's hard to, teach class when no one really knows about you.
Right. Well, there's nobody there. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It's like you might have all the skills in the world. You might be able to do every trick. You might have the secrets, but no one knows about you. It doesn't matter, man.
Yeah, sure enough.
Yeah.
I guess I wanna ask you both this question. You've been dancing for a while now. What are some things that you've learned from dancing that you're able to translate to your everyday life?
That's beautiful. You want to do this?
Go for it.
All right. So
I want to hear from both of you.
yeah, for me, I feel like dancing is really a part of personal growth, because whatever's happening for you off the dance floor is going to translate onto the dance floor as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't want to approach these things off the dance floor, but when they start showing up for you on the dance floor, you start to recognize that they're there in both places. So for me personally, one thing that I have learned through dancing is about being able to set your state of being, or to set your emotions in the right spot. Like, you have to have a different emotion for cha-cha as you do for rumba, as you do for swing, right? And you can't be the same way all the time. So if you learn how to set your emotion and do that, well, then you can do that in a podcast. You can do that on a date, right? You can do that when you're in business. And so it's really about being able to set yourself in the right state of mind. And I think that skill is so incredibly valuable, so incredibly valuable. But then I also see it for my students. Students come to us, they just went through a divorce, their heart's broken, they're not even thinking about being in a relationship. They start dancing, they start feeling happy again. They start dancing, they start dressing up, they start being more confident. They're out dancing, they meet some people, a spark happens, and they're willing to give it a try because they've healed through dance, and then they make a new relationship, and they're back into a better place in their life. So something I've seen is that dance is a really powerful way of transforming people and helping them evolve.
I understand.
My answer is very similar, just the therapy that dance offers.
Yeah, definitely.
We've never once gotten a phone call that said, hey, I want to get a better lockstep in cha-cha. Nobody really comes to us for the steps involved. And it's our job to discover in each one of our students why they're there. And to show them that dance can be the answer to whatever it is. As he said, we have people who have recently broken up, or people who have very low self-confidence and see this as a way to put themselves out there. Guys who don't know how to talk to girls. We're not just coaching how to do a step. We're really opening up people's hearts. And I believe that motion is tied to emotion. So once you get the body in motion, it's a way to release the negative emotions and to let the positive ones in. So taking that into my life and just, realizing that everybody that's around me has that story, and just being compassionate in other areas of my life through dance. Finding that compassion for people and allowing them to have that personal growth and to find my own personal growth. I, believe it or not, have horrible stage fright.
I couldn't tell.
Have extreme confidence issues, and dance is getting me to work through all that. I told Alex, I said, you're going to do all the talking today, and here I am, the mic hog over here. So I definitely have grown as a person, and I think that reflects in all aspects of my life, as a mother, in relationships, and in business.
I want to kind of go back to what you just said about, I guess having stage fright and everything.
Mm-hmm.
For maybe someone else out there who also, has stage fright, gets scared. I guess what advice can you give them? I guess how do you overcome that?
Well, the best advice that Alex has given me is just to connect to him.
Okay.
He's connected to the music. That's the beautiful thing about partner dance.
That's what I lean on.
Is you have your role as, him as the lead. His job is timing and direction. So he's already showing me where to go and when. I just have to complete the move.
Okay.
And it's really having that partnership and somebody to depend on the dance floor and off, So that's the beauty in it, is just to be able to relax, put the confidence in your training and the confidence in your partner.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's been life-changing because I am a control freak.
Okay.
And I want to tell everybody else what to do. So dance has really gotten me more to that listening side and settling into the moment instead of anticipating what's coming up.
Especially at following.
Yeah.
As I'm following a dance,
Yeah.
I try and follow my girl sometimes, and you have to give up control, which
Absolutely.
is very difficult.
That's been
It's hard to stay in that.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
it's very difficult.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I understand that. I definitely do.
Yep. And that's one of the things with, we try not to depend so much on choreography,
Okay.
because then I get into well, that's not what comes next. Well, that's not what I led.
Okay.
And it's again, you just have to breathe, relax, and be present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely understand that.
So,
I want to, if you don't mind, I would like to ask about your daughter. I forgot her name. I'm sorry.
Marissa.
Marissa. I guess tell me how has that been? Growing up, or growing up teaching her and everything. What is that like?
So her upbringing, being in Costa Rica, was very different.
Okay.
It was just every day on the beach, no real agenda, no time frame. That Pura Vida life can be beautiful, but it can also be very lazy. You surf only when the waves are good. You go out only when it's sunny. Otherwise, it's just kind of a mañana mentality. So for her to make the transition now into an athletic world, a structured school, and now structured dance, it's been a little bit of a challenge. And also being the parental coach, she's always going to push boundaries more.
Of course, yeah.
We watch her in, she's in acro gymnastics at Crescent City Gymnastics. And I watch her with those coaches. It's just, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and do it.
We good.
And with us, it's a little bit tougher to get her to do things. But
Overall, we're winning the battle. She's a jungle kid. She just wants to literally lay on the beach and just chill.
don't we all?
Yeah.
So and that's fine. She has her playtime, but the thing is, she showed such a talent. The first time we took her out to a salsa congress, she had a complete standing ovation. Everyone's crying. They're taking pictures with her. I'm like, what?
What is that?
What is going on? And it was to the point that I was like, no, I can't let this girl not reach her potential. So when we bring her to the studio, we've made it as fun as we can to get her to practice. And then when that doesn't work, we make her
crack the
practice. And the thing is, she's been practicing and working on it. She's doing that, contortion and acro, and this beautiful little star is starting to emerge, And for us, that's a huge inspiration, as we want to see her journey and see her grow.
Especially she's starting at such a young age too, man.
Right.
Oh man.
Well, it's almost like we have to do it because she's, anybody who knows her knows how charismatic she is.
Okay.
She has this ability, and she has since she was a little baby, where when she's in the room, all eyes are kind of on her.
Okay.
Her nickname since she was a baby has been La Chispa,
Okay.
because she is the spark. She
Okay, so enough.
she's got it.
See,
There's that it factor, and if we didn't develop it and didn't teach her how to develop it, she would have that hindsight of going, God, I coulda, shoulda, woulda.
What I've learned, though, is the key to developing her is not having us teach her, is to be able to pay other people to teach her.
Okay.
And for us just to enjoy dance with her and make it fun all the time.
Yeah.
That's the key. So that's where we're at.
Because sometimes even just myself, I might not want to my parents.
Right.
So to have someone else, some fathers in them maybe.
Yeah.
And this will come back to you, and you'll kind of just reinforce it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Well, the thing is, her and I are going to perform together till she finds a partner. But if I can have other people instruct her and build her skills, it's going to be so much easier for her to grow.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's a special experience for both of them to be able to dance together, too.
Oh, my
course.
God. It's amazing, man.
I saw the video. Yeah, I saw a video.
I love
yeah.
it. I love dancing with her.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's really cool though, because I mean, you have background in acrobatics and you have a professional experience, man. So she's getting the best of both worlds right there, man. She couldn't ask for a better combination.
Yeah. Well, truly, I've danced with a lot of people, and a lot of people are good, and you don't have to have talent to dance. Like,
Okay.
you just have to have a hunger and a desire to do
I
it.
understand that, right?
But this girl has true talent.
Okay.
In a way that I'm like, hey, can you try this move? This is what I'm thinking. And then she does something better than what I created. I'm like, where did that come from?
That's awesome.
You know? And
Yeah.
she really doesn't have any limits. So it's just a matter of us just getting her the right,
Yeah.
road to go on.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool. I guess I want to ask you this real quick. How would you, or could you maybe, how would you define success for your dance business, if you could at all?
That's a great question. So for me, the success would be in having a full-time staff that's all
Okay.
successful.
Okay.
Because I want to see the talent that's here in New Orleans working on their talent and their craft full time.
Yeah.
To share the things that I've learned and to give them to other people. And honestly, if they work at our studio long term, great. If they go open up their own studios, great. I just want to see people propel forward and be able to do it.
Yeah.
That's success for me. The other thing that's successful is that, we're able to live a comfortable life. If we can have cars that the air conditioning works and the windows roll down, and when we hit a pothole, it doesn't break. We basically need a tank. But
Okay. especially for these streets down here, though. Yeah, especially for these streets down here.
so if we can buy a tank, I think that'll make us successful.
All right. So I understand that. I definitely understand that.
What do you think, baby?
Well, I think there's points of the success that we've achieved because we are full-time instructors.
Yeah.
And some people just do it part-time wishing they could be full-time. So, what we talk about and strive for in our week is having about 30 hours of private lesson between us, a couple group classes, and we know each, yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah. So we're not far off from that, and as he said, we've got a really, really successful marketing channel that brings us, the fortunate situation of meeting new students each
Awesome.
week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're introducing more and more people to dance. We love when we get, those couples that are looking to reconnect, and we
Yeah.
can create some spark and magic back into their relationship. And we watch them come in for their dance class and know that they're going out for a romantic dinner
Yeah.
afterwards. We love when our young students come in, our kids. We have a kids team.
I saw. Yeah.
So when we have, the kids coming in, learning not just how to dance, but the etiquette that goes behind it. We teach the boys how to be little gentlemen and ask the lady to dance. We're teaching the ladies how to, be ladylike and hold that stature
Sure
in the
enough.
studio. We hope that it goes outside of the studio. We just have such joy.
I got to share a little more on that if I can.
Please.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
So my goal when I first came to New Orleans is I wanted to create a studio, a team of instructors that all believed in the same philosophy that dance can transform people, to create a community of students that all look out for each other, that have a connection with one another, that are friends on and off the dance floor and support each other, and that creates a community of dance that isn't here right now, which would be centered around it being all communities, but more ballroom, right? And that community would send a positive ripple where if someone was in need of emotional support, to be able to find a place where they connect, to be able to have a new relationship, they can plug into that, and
Yeah.
that ripple stays in New Orleans after we die.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to be able to, after we pass, that community is here in New Orleans forever. Because apparently it was here. There was the #1 studio in the country was here before Katrina.
Oh, what was that? Do you know?
It was a Fred Astaire.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
then-
like a chain, right? Or
It was
what?
a chain.
Yeah.
But they were the
professional.
#1 studio of all the studios all throughout the
Oh,
world.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, New
And
Orleans,
so
wow.
if it's possible here, because the way New Orleans is, then it can be possible to happen again. And so I want to be able to create that.
That dance family, that dance tribe,
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
That
Yeah.
sounds awesome. Let me ask you this real quick. For maybe like someone who's a beginner in ballroom or salsa, bachata, anything, but they feel like they're not getting better, like they may be stuck in a beginner's rut. What advice could you give them?
Stop looking for your teacher to make you better.
Okay.
If you want to be better, you need to turn the music on, video yourself, and look at yourself, right? And then you see yourself, and then you go back to the video of the YouTube star, and you try to get a little closer.
Okay, sure enough.
There's no teacher better than you. You need to be able to have self-awareness and practice time. You can go to the class, and the teacher will tell you where the next step is, but you've actually got to take that step. So that's the way to get better. Another thing to do is to get many teachers.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to dance with one person and be loyal just to them. Be loyal to them, that's good. But you want to go and learn from everybody and learn
Right.
all their skills.
Right.
And then once you take lessons from everybody in town, you need to go to all the congresses, right? And go to all the big events and start traveling. And you need to take that broader experience and bring it back here. But it definitely comes down to having a joy and a self-practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, self-practice is huge, and just your level of exposure, you're only going to rise to your level of exposure.
Right.
So if you do have that teacher you're loyal to, ask them, say, hey, who did you get coaching from? When's the next Congress coming up? What do you recommend I do? These Congresses are great because you're getting just jam-packed
Right.
exposure to
Right.
these world-class dancers. They're having social events where you're just getting spun around the dance floor by so many different people, and everybody you touch, you're getting a little bit from.
But don't drink all night and then sleep through all the classes, which is what I see everybody do.
Yeah,
You
it
travel
happens.
there, yeah. I
Right.
mean, get your partying in, be done at like midnight, and get up and go to class.
That's
the
where the
classes.
benefits are, the value, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, maybe for someone who is intermediate and they want to get to that advanced level, what does it take for them?
Yeah, that's when your self-practice, it's not just the self-practice. You have to do things out of the studio to make yourself stronger. That includes eating right, going to the gym, reading the right material, surrounding yourself by positive people. You want to lift yourself up inside and out so that your dancing is a direct reflection of your
Yeah.
positivity in life. You know, it's really... The jump between intermediate and advanced is so small, and it's usually a mindset.
Okay. Sure enough. Sure enough.
What I see that men are afraid to ask a lady to be their partner. I think they're afraid to ask, and they're afraid for a rejection, so they don't do that. I think women are afraid to commit to a partner because they think there's a better one out there. That person that you should be dancing with, that everyone knows you should be dancing with, the two of you should become partners.
Okay.
And you should practice. And it's the person that's in your closest, sphere of influence. You might teach with her. You might go to class with her every week. You might hang out, but you're not practicing and you're not being a partner. You need to team up and start studying dance together and practicing and doing it. And you need to find ways to perform once a month. If you had a performance together that you can do once a month, no matter what it is, and each time you do it, you make it better, you're going to start getting noticed, and you're going to go from intermediate to advanced, and you're going to go from advanced to known.
Okay.
There's so many beautiful, talented people that are not partnering right now, and I'm like, what are you doing? Just grab a partner and go do this thing. I know you love it. Oh, I want to leave myself available. I want to da-da-da. Well, you're going to stay at that level forever.
Sure enough.
You're going to stay at a level forever unless you pick somebody and pursue it.
Yeah.
You don't have to date. You don't have to fall in love. If you do, great. But you need to fall in love with dance and share that together.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely understand that. I definitely do. Yeah.
There's a pretty good acro community in New Orleans.
Oh, really?
One of my acro friends said it best. He said, why would I date my acro partner? I've got so many people outside of the acro world that I can mess things up with.
Okay.
My acro partner is so rare and so hard
Sure
to
enough.
find. Like, let me cherish that. and
Yeah,
not even let,
seriously.
if it develops that way, not going to force it. But otherwise, I got to get my practice in.
Sure enough. There it is.
I don't want the fight about who's doing the dishes to get in the way of my acro
Sure
practice.
enough, I
so,
understand that.
we
Definitely.
have gotten to the point where we've had to compartmentalize our practice and our relationship.
Okay.
I used to take it very, very personally when he would criticize my dancing because it was, him criticizing me as a person and our relationship. But no, it's just dancing, and it's what we have to do for business.
Yeah.
And get that part done.
That's on video.
And
I want to ask you then, give me some tips then for maybe someone, for couples who are also dance partners, how can they help with
Compartmentalize.
There you go.
Yeah. I think the way to do it is to say as little as possible.
So, what you mean by that?
Well, like when you go to practice, you really need to keep your mouth closed. It's kind of like the tango community. They don't talk when they dance.
Right.
That's the key. There's nothing really that you need to say with your words that is actually going to influence the dancing in a very positive way. As a matter of
Okay.
fact, when you're in a relationship, you can sometimes be too vulnerable and hurt each other. So when you go to practice, you should warm up solo. You should practice your stuff solo. You should play some music and dance, video it, talk about that, do it again, and then stretch and be done. If you do as little talking as possible, there will be no fighting and no wasted time.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the key to doing it, and keeping it short. 30 minutes, 45 minutes, not spending too much time on it, but keeping it really productive. I think that's the key to it. And then also getting regular coaching. And if there's something you want to talk about, ask them.
Bring it to the coach.
Hey, coach, what do you think about this? Instead of, listen, you're not holding my hand right.
Yeah, I'm not getting this from you.
I'm not getting it from you, right? And then it's a problem.
It gets
Okay.
naggy if
Yeah.
no, that's the best thing. We try and once a month or so get outside coaching, and sometimes that requires us to travel. There's also amazing coaches here in town, so we really, we're blessed that we have a network of strong people. And exactly that, I'm able to say, hey, coach, I don't feel like I'm getting this from him. And that person will nicely explain, well, you need to try this, that, or the other. But if I would have just brought that up, it might have ended in a bad practice for
I
us.
understand that. Yeah.
I think if men are anything like me, they want to get it right and they want to perfect it. And that's not actually how you motivate your partner. If you want to motivate your partner, she needs to feel right. She needs to feel perfect. If she feels correctly, she's going to dance correctly. So it's all about how you make her feel in practice and outside of practice, and that's the result you're going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
Sure enough.
Mm-hmm.
I get you. Let me ask you this real quick. I want you both to answer this. Could you give me one tip that can make anyone a better dancer immediately?
I think you need to act as if, right? You need to not put your own insecurities and your emotions in it. You need to become a different person and act as if you are a dance god, right? That you coming in, you're holding your crown high, you're standing tall, and you become this different person on the dance floor. You can play whatever character you want. If you want to play shy and meek and insecure, go ahead, right? But if you want to play confident and strong and sexy, do it. Yeah. So you, by creating that persona and being that persona, I think that would change it for anyone. Because it's not the moves you do. It's not the tricks you have. It's how you actually feel about the moves you do and how other people feel about it watching you. Yeah.
Sure enough.
Yeah, we have a saying for some of our students, fake it till you make it.
Yeah, it is.
If you pretend like you're already there, you're going to get there quicker. And that's, that same thing that we touched on is kind of that mindset. If you're of the mindset, I'm a great dancer, you just look yourself in the mirror and I'm a great dancer. You're going to become a great dancer.
Sure enough, yeah. That's
know?
that mindset, the mentality, right? Yeah. That's a big part of it.
It is.
Yeah.
Definitely. I wanna thank you both, really for taking time out to talk to me.
Yeah, man.
been
Thank
fun.
you.
I thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been a great experience for both of us. I appreciate it.
Let me ask you this. I guess, what are some of your upcoming events? What do you have going on in your life?
Well, right now, what we're doing upcoming is we're looking for a new space.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
we got into a positive situation where us and another business could be switching locations where it fits for both people.
Okay.
So we're going to be living at our studio. We're going to have, the chance to have an alcohol permit. We're going to have parties with a second-story balcony and a backyard courtyard. So what we're doing right now is we're really trying to get that space, secured and build it for the community. I know the community's lost its Wednesday Latin nights.
Yeah.
We want to bring that back.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We got a
Yes.
spot for that.
That'd be so awesome.
And then for any bands in town that want a place to play, we've got it. So there was a place called Club Silhouette that used to be here in New Orleans, and that's another huge hit for all the dance community because they had a bar and it was 4 dancers, and it really wasn't about making money at the bar. It was about just having a place for people to go dance, and we want to bring that back for people.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at right now. What else?
No, I
Upcoming event?
agree. I think, we do a great job with our private lessons, but we've been a little limited on group classes and socials because of the space, and we had a curfew there. So having this new availability and new space, we just kind of want to be, where are you going to go tonight? Oh, we're going to Kelley and Alex's.
Hey, sure
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Hey.
Going to Rhythm and Smooth. So we're excited about this opportunity and just see nothing but potential in it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely. I guess, last one, how can people, get in contact with you? How can they reach out to you?
Mm-hmm. The best way to get in contact with us is gopartnerdance.com. Okay? So, yeah, if you check us out online at gopartnerdance.com, it has our availability, our classes. You can actually book a free lesson to be able to try it out.
Nice.
Yeah. But really just find us in the community and let's just talk.
Okay.
Because I think the most important thing for any relationship is that you have one.
Yeah.
And that's the place to start.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. So like I said, I really want to thank you so much, for taking time out today to talk to me. I thoroughly enjoyed it, like I said, man. I say any last words, I guess, or anything?
Yeah, we just look forward to seeing everybody on the dance floor.
Hey, there it is. There it
Yeah.
is.
So if you're out there, share this podcast. It's Two Left Feet Podcast
Hey.
here with Terrence Grier. Thank you,
so
man.
much. Yo, of course,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you for doing this episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Hey.
All right, so hey everyone. If you made it this far to the end of the video, I want to thank you so much for just, watching this. I really hope that you found value in this. My whole goal in this endeavor is, to give a voice to people, to dancers, and to give value to the dance community. So if I'm not giving value, it's kind of pointless. So I strongly urge you to please comment and let me know where I can improve, what I need to do better, what I'm doing wrong, and hopefully what I'm doing right, but my overall goal is I want to give content. I want to be helpful. So please let me know where I can improve upon. I'm new to all this, so I'm learning as I go. So I need feedback. Please comment and just let me know how I can improve. I would greatly appreciate that. That means the world to me, just to be able to interact with you all, have a conversation with you and just, see what you like and what you don't like. That means the world to me. I love interacting with you all. It means so much to me. But yeah, thank you so much for making it this far into the video. I gotta say, please leave a like, subscribe. If you don't like it, then let me know why not. Hit the down like button, hit the unlike button. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.